What's up, YouTube? I was being bad. They might have flagged me for a couple of weeks. Oh well, time to build up Shame TV too. And it doesn't matter because Shame TV will be back shortly. Yeah. No more page building after Shame TV because that page is already built. What's up, Triple C? We got to share the hell out of this. Yeah, I think it's probably like for a couple weeks. Well, you can suicide. I ain't going to be up here long. I was talking about this Rick Ross baby mama drama bullshit where his nigga is actually dissing his own son, you know what I'm saying? And then talking shit about how much he's doing for his daughters and shit. Like, that shit is corny. I said I was going to actually give it the time of day, you know what I'm saying? Because I talked over the weekend with my sister when she came. What up, dog man? And she was talking about it, so I wanted to just lend some, because she goes through it herself with her baby father. You know what I'm saying? And with her baby father, it's the same thing. She'll take her son over there, and it's always some horse shit. It's always some bullshit. It's always some trying to do something against him, like you getting back at her. But nigga, you really doing that shit to him. Like at the end of the day, you're not hurting her father-son relationship because she ain't his father, you are, and she's not your son, he is. So I just wanted to shed light on how Rick Ross will make videos and shit, talking shit about the woman, throwing his wealth in her face, and the daughters that are with him, how much he does for them, this, that, and the third. But at the same time, nigga, for your own son, you're not doing any of that shit. Then on top of it, which makes it, what up, Boogie? What makes it all bad and which makes all of this worse is that he goes on social media and talks shit to her when I seen the interviews. I seen the woman showing her phone saying, yo, all I'm doing is asking this dude, when are you going to spend more time with your son? He's getting older. When are you going to do this with your son? When are you going to do that with your son? And you send back how much you spending on your daughter's birthday. Or, like, come on, man.
Like to call you when they know you on live. Let me live, bitch. Come play that shit. Y'all listen to this shit. This my son now, and this fucked with him 2 years ago. But now he talking shit. And you know this. You know,
hold on, okay.
Running her mouth like she wrong. And I chastise her ass. I ain't the one to be fucked with. Don't play with me.
She a little raw, y'all. So y'all might want to put the kids away.
You know you can't control me. That's why you mad. And at the end of the day, the point is you're not calling.
I'm not sure if his son is firstborn, dog man. I'm not sure not if his son is firstborn. I know this dude favors the hell out of this nigga. Like he looks like the mother, but he's big and dark skinned and all the features of his father. You know what I mean? I know y'all seen them dudes before. Like I'm kind of one of them. Like my face is kind of like my mother's, but the rest, my cheeks, my head, my eyes, my everything else, that's my father. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of where he's at as far as his son. But the crazy part about it is I'm a find the video and I'm gonna play it by itself. And so y'all don't even hear me talking. I'm gonna just put the video on my page. You know what I'm saying? And let y'all see it. The interview that she did, you know, because she was being interviewed and she was showing how low. Yo, I'm just asking this dude about my son. He talking about a whole plethora of other things that have nothing to do with the son. And to openly say that shit, like she didn't know about the birthday party. Like Rick Ross put out a video saying that he was going to spend over $200,000 on the birthday. You know it's a sweet 16. So on the sweet 16, I'm gonna do a boss and I'm gonna all that shit. So I'm gonna spend $200,000 at the Versace mansion and all of that shit. You know who found that video? and showed it to her? Rick Ross's son, her son. That's who found the video of you supposedly talking shit to her. That's who found the video and played the video to her. So she did see you popping shit. She did see you showboating on how much you gonna do for your other kids. But you want to know who found that video? Your son found it. That's crazy. Hold on. So that's why when she gets a little raw, I don't say nothing. You know what I mean? That could make anybody raw.
I will beat that bitch ass today when I'm 50, when I'm 60. You know this. And you know y'all can pull up. Y'all know how I ride. Yeah. I'm a grandma. But you a deadbeat daddy. At the end of the day, all your fans see, you don't acknowledge your son. Something that God gave you. You need to stop worrying about birth. Lil Wayne, I know I look better than all them hoes, and I don't wear all that makeup shit. Y'all better put that shit on me when I'm dead. Stop worrying about birth.
Hold on, I want to hear that.
Lil Wayne, I know. See, you don't acknowledge your son. Something that God gave you. You need to acknowledge him. Call your son. Stop worrying about birth. Lil Wayne, I know I look better than all them hoes, and I don't wear all that makeup shit. Y'all better put that shit on me when I'm dead. So stop telling me I'm basic. Bitch, I could be all that, bitch. I'm natural. And it's about the only thing I motherfucking wear is some braids. I don't wear, that ain't me. Bitch, I was born in 76. Fuck all you millennials. You bitches need to pick up a book and read a book. And your mamas need to beat your motherfucking ass because you're lame. Stay woke. Stay motherfucking woke. Hope you look like this at 41 hope. Y'all know you better tell these hoes. And that fuck nigga talk about my sons got MG tattoos. Fuck nigga, you was riding with them 2 years ago. They was in your studio, fuck boy. You was riding they dick, fuck boy. We was living in your studio house. Getting on our songs. Getting on that, where that song at anyway? Play that shit. Matter of fact, we finna play some shit this fuck nigga done been on. Just 2 years ago. Now he mad. All I asked him to do was put his son in private school, which he's supposed to want that. Toy don't even go to private school. What school she go to? Niggas like.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Even the daughter that he big up, he just sent her out in the world.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Definitely is.
They call you when they know you on live. Let me live, bitch. I wish I had the birth. And this ain't to disrespect my real fans, but I see there's a lot of old pussy bitches, hating ass bitches on my timeline. Fuck them bitches though. Y'all know why? Because they think rich make you loyal. They think being rich. Oh, let me finish out the story though.
Yes. They think rich means you something. When you have to realize what most of these people did to get to where they at and to get to what they got. A lot of people don't take the straight and narrow road. Because a lot of ways to get rich in this fucking land is fucking people over. And the number one thing you could fuck over and keep your bread is your children. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. That shit is expensive. My son's birthday, one of my son's birthday was just last week. Do you know that I bought this dude shit, bought him a whole necklace and everything, yo? Do you know that this dude already destroyed the necklace? It's not even a week, wasn't even a week later. I could literally say that was money I just took and threw away. Money that I stood up at my little job to make, I basically threw that shit away. They're expensive, man. But when you got the money to do it, it should be easy. What's the big deal?
So anyway, after I caught the case with this pussy hoe, win my shit by a grand jury. I mean, not a grand jury, but by a jury. Anyway, mind he ain't do nothing for his son, give me no support at least 9 months prior to that. So I had no choice but to go and get a family attorney to file for child support. He had them glue up. Duh. Are y'all stupid? Okay. So when I did that, remember the time he took my Infinity truck, the white truck? That was during our depositions.
That was during the 50 Cent beat.
He had been cross-examined for about 4 hours that day. He was exhausted, almost fainted. So he had...
The fact that she took him to court for child support because she's claiming, which is still happening right now, that we have a son together and you don't spend time with your son. We have a son together and you don't do shit for your son. We have a son together and you can't take this nigga like I don't know what nigga who don't fuck with his son. That's weird as shit right off tops. Right off the top. That's weird as hell. For a man to actually have a son and not fuck with his son like that. But you're not doing that shit. So she goes other routes to basically use these people to make you do it. Now all of a sudden you pissed about some shit you could have just did in the first place.
Niggas come steal his truck and take it. Good, fine, who cares? Mine same week. He had just dropped a diss song talking about taking care of 50 baby mama or he was burning a house or some shit, whatever. I don't keep up with all that shit. But anyway, 50 reached out to my attorney, well, his people, somebody, to my child support attorney, because they found out Rick Ross had just took a truck.
The whole world found that shit out.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
The whole world. He's so petty and mad about the situation that he takes Shorty's truck from her. Now, let me say this. I don't give a fuck what's going on between me and my lady if we break up and I buy her a car. When I buy her this car, I'm buying the car literally for my kids when they're with her. That's what I'm buying it for. Now, if we're no longer together, do I assume that she's going to be going off doing her own thing from time to time in the car? Of course she would. Why do I give a fuck if I'm doing my own thing anyway? The car is for you, G.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
My attorney called me at 8 o'clock that night. And matter of fact, I was at Miss Bayer's house. The one who was with me when we did the shopping and furs or whatever. But anyway, 50 people's reached out to my attorney and asked that I wanted to do an interview. Of course, that was it. I had them put up with enough. Niggas send their mama to my trial. Niggas sent an attorney to my trial. Nigga had his baby mama on the stand lying. I was a prostitute. Everybody in Miami know this. This hoe was a call girl and the call girl was. I mean, you hated me that much that you had to go to that extent or you didn't want to pay or whatever the situation was. It's like, why? A real nigga supposed to say both. First of all, I ain't even supposed to spend that kind of money and took that case to trial because a real nigga supposed to have both of their baby mamas sit down, squash that shit, and it is what it is. But you know what it was?
Facts.
The Stone went to school with my sister, Candace, who he keep talking about, and one of my cousins, Devion, and that's how I know her history. She's from an area that's 5 minutes from where I grew up from. So I know her history, and that's why she never liked me when she found out who I was. But anyway, long story short, he did all this thinking that I was going to lose my trial, and I won it. So I went and got a family attorney, filed a child support case. 50 of them reached out to my attorney, and yeah, I did want to go do the interview. I sure did. Sure the fuck did. I don't give a fuck what a bitch got to say. Bitch was trying to take my freedom away from me. Fuck that. You understand me? Next caller, yes. So
Shame.
We fought the child support case for a couple of years. Mind you, it took them like 8 months, down there to a year, to serve him. Which I had done told this nigga, hey, these people gonna call you because I'm not gonna keep calling you, kissing your ass, having to fuck you, be your friend, listen to your disrespect and all that for you to be a father. I ain't never went through that. Man, I was married when I got married at 21. Are you serious? I was married to a street nigga. It wasn't no pressure with my 2 sons. My 2 sons was in private school.
So the problem came in when you could no longer just come and smash, because everybody knows when they break up with their baby mother for the first year or so, you could still go through and pretty much because she's still emotionally tied to you. But at the end of the day, nigga, that still don't have nothing. We still, the disconnect between your son and you is still there because you're applying everything to the relationship to her.
I'm a street nigga. Are you serious? Like, I wasn't used to no nigga getting no money and just being selfish. Like, you was trying to send me back to the hood or something? You ain't want your son safe? Are you serious? No, bitch. So guess what? We'll fight you and we'll let the white man take it from you. And that's what I did. And I'm still doing it. Now that he got all these wings stuff, he got one for modification a couple years ago. So what? Then you took another car because you see, mind you, he gave me that BMW when we started that messing around. Whatever. I went up there to 50, did that, whatever. A few years later, we started back fucking. When he was messing with Shakira. When he was getting that hoe out of his house. Sure, I'm telling it all. And I'm keeping it real with you bitches. Yep. Sure was. We was fucking. Because I'm a squirter, and that's what that fuck nigga like. He like lemonade, bitch. And your daddy probably like it too. So all you bitches can shut the fuck up.
She's tripping.
Anyway, we started by messing around. He gave me that Alpina B7. I ain't care nothing about no car. Nobody don't care nothing about that. I went to my son in private school. The money he was giving me wasn't enough. Because for one, I have to live somewhere secure. I've always lived in a gated community. Once I had his son, well, I was living in a gated community before I had his son. But anyway, I had to keep my son safe. So the money wasn't enough. At the end of the day, I came to him like a woman and asked him to give me a little more ends, put your son in private school, whatever. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to penny pinch, do this, do that, run around, talk big, act like he doing this. Man, you talking all this, but your sons ain't in private, your kids ain't in private school. Birdman kids went to American Heritage. There wasn't no pressure for that man to spend 40 a year, 50 a year for tuition on his kids a good education. You invest in your children's future. Are you serious? But you got
shame.
And the reason why all this is valid, the reason why all of this applies is because this nigga actually went to court with her and she was just asking him to pay for the school. She had to take him to court, allegedly, to make him pay. Of course, yeah, that shit's crazy, dog, man. It's just unreal to me. I don't even know how to this is unreal to me. But she had to take him to court to get the increase for him, or not the increase, but for him to pay for his son to go to private school. Not give her more money, none of that shit. Just to pay for him to go to private school so she doesn't have to worry about him going to public school, being the son of Rick Ross, getting kidnapped, abused, or whatever. That's all she asked him for. And the judge granted it. And reportedly, the judge told Rick Ross that he was lucky, and he was lucky because he's lucky that's all she's asking for. That he basically ought to be ashamed of himself for it even coming there and getting to that point. So to close all this out, what am I saying? Is this whole incident with Rick Ross' health, is it karma coming to smack him in his face? Only because you were openly throwing this shit in their face. It's not like anybody asked you to go on Instagram and all of that shit and tell people I'm having a birthday party for my daughter. I'm gonna spend $200,000 right after you just had a conversation with your baby mother about just spending time with your son.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Derek Jones Talks Live. This is our standard 30-second break. Do not leave. 30 seconds. We will be right back. And we will be switching gears to Moors and Masons. That's who we're going to have a discussion on tonight. We'll be right back. And we are back. Okay, people, welcome back. We just got finished going over, welcome back, of course, to your Sunday Sundown stream, which we were cut from Derek Jones Talks Live. We were cut because I was playing Black Panther for you guys while we were chatting during the chat. And I guess somebody found out. So it's all good. It's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? They might flag my page for a couple of weeks, but who cares? We'll just build this one up. And do not forget the flagship page. Yes, the mothership, the Queen Mother Goddess ship. Shame TV Eastwatch. Yes, she will be making her triumphant return. It's a matter of a couple weeks now. So we'll be okay, people. We'll get through. Shame TV 2, please subscribe and share these videos if you haven't subscribed yet, and share the videos so that they can get more subscribers and we can have more of our same people in our other groups come along and know that we are in. So it is what it is, people. It's time to switch gears.
You were made to move, to progress, to not just accept what you see, but imagine something.
Stuff going on over here.
To an actual corporation.
Wow.
Right? You can be native to land, but it can't be native to an actual corporation.
Wow, that's
right. Whereas Philadelphia exists on paper only, not land. Only on paper because it's a private corporation.
Wow.
All right.
So
since I just wanted to clarify that, to ask me if I were a Philadelphia native.
Right? Superimposed on the United States map. So why would you do that?
All right. Well, one, the landmass that you see here is not the United States map. It's not the United States. This is part of Morocco.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Now, the part about that map, the image of the United States map being or not being the United States, that part, in my opinion, can be construed as true. Okay? Now, the whole Morocco thing, At one point, I was buying it. As I've gotten a little older and no facts have been presented, I'm no longer buying that line anymore because I don't have anything to go on as far as Superior Bay says, cross-referencing. You see, cross-referencing now and what has become what the Moors or my Moorish brothers and sisters call cross-referencing is just using books and taking words and adding your own meaning to the words in the book. Meaning, if I read this title of this stream, Sunday Sundown Stream, Moors are Masons. Okay? What they'll do is Sunday Sundown Stream, Moors are Mu, in the Mu and the Ma from the sun, and vowels are interchangeable. And then you take the Mu and it's that type of shit. Nothing you see where you just read. You didn't just read where it said this Mu can be taken. None of that shit. They just add on. So this whole Morocco thing, I don't see the connection where it says such and such and such used to be Morocco. I don't see it. That's all I'm saying.
The name America does not come from the name America Vespucci. The name America has a much ancient origin. The author and scholar, European author and scholar, Barry Fell.
You heard him, author and scholar. Never forget who is really the god of these people. Authors.
Who's professor emeritus at Yale University, who wrote America BC, states that the name America has a much ancient origin from the Libyan word Madru, meaning land across the sea. So the
Libyan name Maru. Now, I want you to watch how he takes Maru and what he does with Maru. There's not going to be anywhere that he can, there's nowhere that I can go to validate whether this is an actual fact or not, meaning the people of Maru, who they were, the writings they left, etc.
So the name America referring to land, all right, and not of Italian origin. So the name America, what I'm saying is Morocco, America is Morocco. The name America linguistically is derived from the name Morocco. And the name
and that's it. That's it. That's all we have. Hold on, man. Listen, I said you could stay because it's a real conversation. And you call yourself a Moor. But what you're not going to do is play them little, I thought you watched the video of the day because you watch all my videos. I thought you watched the video of the day, bro, when I told you I don't do that game playing shit like that, because when you play games, I'm going to play real. Okay? Now, there's nothing that I said. This brother said a few things. A few things I've agreed with, and a few things I've not agreed with. Then you got this clown who's going to turn around and say, now I'm going against. Yes, I'm going against some of the stuff he's saying, because I'm going against a lot of the things that my Moorish brothers and sisters have been saying with no facts and evidence to actually corroborate what they're saying. That's what I'm saying. If you can't handle that, and you think everything that I just said, that's me being a Mason and tricking people, then that's just what your fucking retarded ass mind thinks. That's telling about yourself, Rude. You're telling the world about how you really think, if that's where you're going with that. Okay? So don't no person hold the key to everything. And I want anybody who hears this to always remember, no one person holds the key to anything. Okay? I don't care if you run around like certain people running around calling themselves a Taj Tariqite. Now you got to provide the evidence that all the things that Taj Tariq says are exact and true without no room for error. Like, come on now, who does that? But back to the brother and back to the study.
Morocco, America, extends from what they call Canada, Mexico, Central America, and all of South America and the adjoining islands. That is Morocco / America. All right, so this is just a portion of America. All right, not all of America. Wow. The Europeans who occupy our Moorish land will geographically,
I remember that too,
limit the word America geographically to this land, only this portion of landmass. Where the name America applies to what they call Canada, Mexico, Central America, and South America and the islands. The American states are Mexico, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Guyana, Grenada.
Now that part, again, that part I agreed with. I agree with that part. That at a certain part on the time period and on this earth, that Mexico, etc., and all these different lands were their own little kingdoms. Now, do I believe for 1 second that is Moroccan per se? No, I don't think that, because the way that the Moroccans ruled were no different than the way that any other monarchs ruled. Okay, the problem that a lot of my Moorish brothers and sisters and a lot of people I see who study history have today is that they worship the scribes, meaning the writers. Now, when you set up a kingdom, you have to realize that the people who are walking around the kingdom, who are paying taxes to the king and all this shit, you have to stop looking at these people as willing participants. Okay, that's where the number one problem is coming in at.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Most people look at these people as willing participants. These people were not willing participants in anything. If there's a sultan of Morocco, which there was, and he sent out Moors, which he probably did, they went out on missions to attempt to conquer a lot of the times. We're just keeping it real. No one can dispute that there were people, brothers and sisters, who called themselves Moors, who used to go out around the seas and conquer shit and rob shit. Okay, I'm pretty sure. You want to know what else I'm pretty sure of? There was groups of brothers and sisters who didn't call themselves Moors who were doing that. How about that for you? For all those who could handle nuances of conversations, you should know where I was going with that. People paying all this attention to this word Moor like it's the only term our people been called. The point I'm making is rulership claims shit, whether it's theirs or not. Whether it's theirs or not. So because some person, a scribe, wrote down that the sultan of such and such claimed some land far off as his own, and that land's called Morocco, in reality, it doesn't kind of translate into a fact. That's no different if you watch Game of Thrones. It's the same shit. You had the war of the what? The 5 kings. You have 5 kings, 5 men claiming to be king. when there was only supposed to be one. So wherever they were at the time, if you were King Stark, then wherever you were on that patch of land, you were king. Those people not necessarily accepting you as their king, but the fact that you got a 40,000 man army, I guess they don't have a fucking choice. First off, the Constitution is a document that was not signed, and the Constitution does not apply to anybody that's walking around on this soil. And I want everyone to hear this right now. Anyone who tells you that the Constitution applies to you, you need to ask them the facts, evidence, and witnesses with personal firsthand knowledge to attest that that document applies to you. Because your name is not on it. That document wasn't even purported to be a contract. Let me start off right there. The Constitution is not even purported to be a contract. So anyone who uses the Constitution saying it's the social contract and it's the whatever, I don't see any facts and evidence to back that up. So until I see that, I'm not going to be able to go with that shit. But I'll talk about the Constitution, Brother Moore, when you show me facts about the Constitution is everything. I want y'all to look at this right now. And I'm glad I got YouTube Red because I could save all my comments and screenshot shit. Okay, listen to you heard what I just said. I said, and thank you, Dark Man. I'm glad you're here. I want you to listen to this. Triple C, where you at? I know you in here. I want all the objective people in here, all of y'all, Shadow Assassin, everyone to listen to this. I just asked this man about facts and evidence that this document, because that's all it is a fucking piece of paper. I'm on Earth, man. I'm on a planet, man, that sits in a fucking galaxy, G. I asked you, what is the Constitution factually? You want to know what his response was? The Constitution is everything. This is what gets me with these niggas. That is not an answer to the question I just asked you, bro. That is even more ambiguous than where we began. I'm even more lost than when we began. You said the Constitution, bro. I said, well, how does the Constitution factually apply? What witnesses with personal firsthand knowledge or facts or evidence that you have that this document written by some fucking Europeans 1,000 years ago applies to me? How does that apply to me? Factually, it's everything. That's the answer. Look at his answers. Dark man, you keep hiding your face. What does that have to do with your information? And you see why the Moors are coming under contention.
Trinidad and Tobago, Cuba, Dominica, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Dominican Republic, Suriname, Guyana, Colombia, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Barbados, Jamaica are the American states. They're in an organization called the Organization of American States, and they are those.
Thank you, Shadow Assassin.
And republics that I mentioned are members of the Organization of American States. Pennsylvania is not a member of the Organization of American States. Why? Because it's not an American state. New Jersey, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, South Dakota, North Dakota are not members of the Organization of American States. Why? Because they're not American states. They are European colonies that are posing as American states, but not in fact American states.
Oh, that's right. So above before quote unquote white men, you have the question, who are these imposters?
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
He says American states. He said American states. These are not American states. factually. Again, I don't hear any facts. I hear you saying this shit. I've heard this shit said. I've been led to books to read and have read them, and I still don't have facts. All I have is a lot of shit that I could tie together if I was so inclined.
Absolutely. You see here, who are these imposters? These are these three here, 1, 2, 3, are past grand monarchs. You have the mystic order of the mystic order of the Veil Prophet of the Enchanted Realm, established in Hamilton, New York, in 1850. So these are, and one of the temples named Muslim. Another temple that they use they use Moorish names for the names of their temples.
Now, right now, he is showing a group of Europeans who are wearing fez. Fezzes, okay? Hold on, let me address this. Look at this dummy. I destroyed you on Triple C TV. A state is a city. State. Yo, listen, dipshit. She has the video of you saying how I taught you when I informed you that you were incorrect about what you're saying in your whole stance, Ruth. Now, I have yet to play that audio because I want you to have a page. Oral law and the birth certificate is the same thing. What the fuck? No, it's not, dog. First off, dog, you said that the birth certificate is a contract. You said it's all a contract. I told you that a contract is a word, right? You agreed that a contract is a word. I said, is there a definition to the word contract? We both agreed on that. I then told you the definition of the word fucking contract. You again agreed with me on the definition of the term contract. So then I told you, how in the fucking hell could your birth certificate really be construed as a contract? A contract, the beginning of a contract, has a meeting of the minds. If there is no meeting of the minds, motherfucker, you haven't even begun to come close to having a contract. You can't put some piece of paper in order, trick somebody into signing it, and say it's a contract, dumbass. Because the first element of a contract is a meeting of the minds to establish what are we here to do and how are we going to hash this out. What the fuck, man? No, I don't care what letters you put beside it. SSS, triple, I don't give a fuck. It ain't a contract. You better call it another word. You better make up a word and call it that word. But calling it a contract, it ain't. And you can't bust nobody up on nothing. Dark Man X would drag your fucking ass. Anybody who does a fucking anything with you, dog, would drag you because you a fuck nigga. That's why none of the fucking Moors fuck with you. That's why nobody fucks with you. Because you're a fucking chump who just runs your fucking mouth. In your opinion, you done beat everybody and don't none of these niggas know you. You dogged Sabir Bey and Sabir Bey has never heard of you. Yet you was on your page talking about how you was destroying him and this, that, and the third. Like, Root, man, you just a fucking little drunk, G. That's all you are, man. You're a little drunk. That's all you are, man. A little Mason. And you're going to hear it today. And right now, Brother Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey, a real Moor, not a Soto Moor. We ain't never heard Abdullah. I'm going to tell y'all one thing. What's up, BC? I'm going to tell y'all one thing right now. I ain't never heard Abdullah Bey. I have never heard motherfucking Taj Tariq. I have never heard any of these people. Any of these people. I have never heard Dark Man X. Who else do he bang on? I have never heard none of these fucking people, including myself, say, I wish black people was dead, nigga. I wish the police would kill them, and I hope they kill them. That's still on you, Root. So while you running around talking about us in national Moors, you ain't nothing. You ain't shit. I ain't heard no other Moors talking about they hope to. I ain't heard Taharka Bey say that shit, that weird ass shit. I have not heard any other Moor say that shit. And you better stop calling yourself a Taj Tariqite, because I ain't never heard Taj Tariq talk the nonsense that you spew out your fucking mouth. I ain't never heard Taj Tariq spew the shit you say. You piece of shit.
Obey. Another landmark temple is the name Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is a past and pure potentate. That's the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine, now called Shriners International. And the name of the temple he belonged to is Morocco. So look at the names that they're using. And what are they wearing? The Moorish fez.
Now, why are they wearing the Moorish fez? Why are these European men who call themselves Shriners, why the fuck are they wearing Moorish fezzes, calling themselves El and Bey and Soto and Moors and all that shit, and Morocco and all of that shit? Where did they get that from? Who did they learn that from? Something that came from somewhere. Who taught them that? Who did that? Yo, answer the question. Stop talking about people being in a, hey, Dark Man, I hope you got a church and I hope it's successful. Now what? Who cares, nigga? We want to know how them white people get them fezzes, Root.
That they falsely call the Shriners fez or the Grand Monarch fez. But this is the Moorish fez.
That so they got from who?
Traded places with us. So I have written above.
Traded places. They actually traded places with them. So the Moors have traded places with the Europeans. Now this brother right here again, Abdullah El, Root Words got real upset, attempting to frame my words as some attempt to bash Abdullah El, which that is not what we're doing here, brother. So Abdullah El, I'm calling you brother, not that Soto or more. That's what we're doing here. Just critique work, man, and study. It's not nothing to do with bashing anyone. But this brother right here says that the Europeans traded places with his Moorish ancestors. I wonder how they learned it. I wonder where they got that from. Who taught them the science of masonry? That's all we want. I believe you, Dark Man. I believe you. Oh, now you know what Abdullah do. Now, hold on, guys. This is the thing with these guys. He's friends with all the right people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you bring up a Moor who's teaching some shady shit like Sabir Bey, when I talk about Sabir Bey, he's defending Sabir Bey. But when he now Taj Tariq called Sabir Bey a cop and da-da-da-da-da. But when I was talking about him, I was bashing the Moors. Like, Root, you a fucking lame little alcoholic, yo. But let's finish, yo, because I want y'all to hear all of these shits.
Order. A one world. It was a divine plan. America didn't happen by chance. All this was part of the divine plan. that this would come about. The Moors then had a plan for a new world order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally.
You heard him. The new world order. This is all I'm doing to y'all because I told y'all I'm going to make y'all a promise. I'm going to start just relaying information that I've come across throughout my studies in my life. That's all I'm going to do.
Shame. Shame.
That's all I'm doing. So when I was younger, yes, it got me when I started learning about the Moors and that there were really black people who call themselves Moors, who were sailors, niggas like big time pirates and shit. So when I'm younger, of course I'm thinking this shit is super cool. But when I get older, I have to realize and come to grips, man, that yo, the world is bigger than the Moors. Every black person running around wasn't no motherfucking Moor or identified as no Moor. And I don't even think the people that we talking about even identify themselves personally as Moors.
Shame. Shame.
The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which we civilized.
Say again.
The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which we civilized and taught the Europeans.
Wait a minute. Wait a second here. Hold on, we're going to do that one more time.
It was a divine plan. America didn't happen by chance. All this was part of the divine plan that this would come about. The Moors then had a plan for a new world order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally. The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Now y'all look in the chat. It's getting real quiet in the chat, ain't it? It's getting real quiet in the chat now, ain't it, Mr. Soto or more? We're going to keep playing this shit. I'm going to loop this shit.
Order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally.
What kind of plan, Hakeem?
That this would come about. The Moors then had a plan for a new world order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally.
So the Moors are the ones who got this plan. Okay? The Moors are the ones who started this plan of a new world order. Let's continue, Hakeem H.Y. Bey.
The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge.
So the plan of the New World Order was then inherited by Europeans through a Masonic Lodge. Well, how did this happen? Osmosis, magic, by happenstance, somebody tripped, fall, and fell into a Masonic Lodge, or information fell into somebody's hand and they developed. How did this take place, Hakeem Bey?
Which was the vehicle by which we civilized and taught the Europeans. And so now when we hear them saying it, we ready to throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Oh.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Whoa. So let me get this straight, Brother Bey. Brother Hakeem H.Y. Bey. Let's try to make some sense of this shit here. Okay, let's make some sense of it. Hey, Root, shut up for a second, okay? And stop talking about women. We already know how you really feel about the sisters. You will talk shit about them even if they're dead. Now, but we want your opinion on this. You call yourself a Moor. You say that Masons are evil. You said that. Hold on, Dark Man. Let me get him. Let me walk him down this street. You said that the Masons are evil. I told you a long time ago, bro, that I done been around plenty of older Moors, and they say that we developed Masonry. That Masonry was taken and developed from our everyday natural movements and stances. Okay? They said the same thing this brother just said, that the New World Order that these Masons that you call evil are trying to push out on people was something that they got in something called Masonry. And they got this Masonry from the Bays. Like Taj Tariq Bey and shit like, you know, whatever, all the other Bays, Taj Tariq Bey.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Come on, we're going to listen a little further.
That was a Moorish plan originally. The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which
Hold on, people. Hold on, Hakeem. H.Y. Bey. Root word said a my son is native history. Oh, now my son or Mason ain't evil. Oh my God.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
At least young Pharaoh stick with his stance, nigga. Like, you flip-flopping all over the place because you know you don't want to say nothing bad about Hakeem H.Y. Bey. You know it ain't nothing floating around negative about Hakeem, nigga. And you know that Hakeem is a real Moor who tries to fucking study. Yeah. Nah, you ain't say shit about no, shut the, listen to this, people. I'm going to read this dipshit's comments. And I'm going to read it in his words. I said the Masons keep secrets. First off, nigga, shut the fuck up. You said that Masons are evil and they need to die and all of that shit. Well, I think if Masons are evil and need to die.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
The people who created the Masons, what should happen to them?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
The hell?
And so now when we hear them saying it, we ready to throw the baby with the bathwater.
Don't throw that baby out.
No, we originally laid out that plan.
You heard it. Root, why are you going against the New World Order? We originally laid that plan out. We laid that plan out. The Moors laid this whole Masonry plan out. If the Masons are keeping secrets, where did they learn to keep secrets from, Root? Why don't you just say it?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Won't you just say it? The Masons learned Masonry from the Moors. If the Masons are evil, Root, that means you their evil father.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
For one divine world order. And they merely inherited it. Mm-hmm. And when we fell off, they still espoused it. Even though many of them are not carrying out right and exact, because you got to understand that the European Masons who run this government, who run the international scene, that they're under certain oaths and obligations. There's certain things that they can't do. There's certain things that they can't speak on. They're functioning more or less in a custodial capacity or fiduciary capacity. Mm-hmm. They were made custodians. When we were falling for power, we said, all right, you see this throne? We're going to make you custodians of this throne. You're going to become the keepers of the light, not the bearers of the light. We would have.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
They're going to be the keepers of the light, the keepers of the secrets. Okay? That's what they're going to be, not the light bearers themselves. They're being taught this by the Moors. And no, Root, the Moors are not natives, because you said that the Moors came here and sailed here. So if they came here and they sailed here, motherfucker, it was already people here. And I'll play evidence of that from other Moors saying that, other than your retarded ass saying that shit. That the Moors came here, there was other tribes of people or black people already here. So don't even start that shit. How the fuck you gonna sail to somewhere and be native from there?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Bearers of the light. We was one who was able to actually go out there and re-educate the whole human family of planet Earth. We made them keepers, mm-hmm. which means that it's but so much they can speak on. You look at the degree structure. Water freezes at what? 32 degrees, right? Well, the highest they go is 32 degrees, which means what? Their wisdom, their water, their wisdom is locked up. It's froze shut. They can't get out here teaching like we can. It's froze shut. And maybe once in a while, one of them may be honored with the honorary 33rd degree, and then they throw it out a little more. Maybe they can say a few things, but not too much.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So they can't say too much, Root. Root, how come you ain't never talk about this on your page, about the Moors being the true Masons? That if there's masonry in the world, according to the Moors, it originated with them. It was a system that they set up. I'm going to give y'all the short version. The Moors tell a story that we were going into sleep, which, looked at in a planetary way, it makes sense. But at the same time, this is what they say. And before we went to sleep, knowing that we were going into this darkness for a time, we didn't want to lose all our information. We didn't want to lose all our light.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So much like a dying lord who doesn't have a child around or someone around close to give this knowledge to, he'll give it to his squire or one of his servants or someone to be a keeper.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
To hold these secrets and make sure these secrets get passed down and stay alive until the Lord's seed or progeny returns to their lordship. That's in a nutshell what they say.
You see what I'm saying? And so we put those Europeans in power when we fell from power, because at that time, the Catholic Church, through the Franciscan and Dominican orders, was destroying everything that the Moors had built up. All the civilization, all the high science that we had developed and cultivated and built up, they was destroying on a global level. And so we put the Europeans in power, Masons in power. We refer to them as the mystic Turks, or chief protectors of the sacred shrine. The shrine of what? The shrine of more science, of more civilization that we had cultivated for so long. We put them there in charge of it. And so they're custodians. And then sometimes happens that custodians forget their place and they start to think that they're the ones. But we got to remind them, y'all not the ones. Y'all the custodians. Y'all was to hold it and preserve it until we wake back up and then get this thing back on its original divine plan. So we are to convey to America that we're not about overthrowing this. No. As a matter of fact, we're about getting this thing back function on its original divine purpose.
Shame.
Because
Shame. Shame.
So that's the reason Root wishes the police would kill us. Because he ain't about destroying America in the way it's operating right now, in the system. Not destroying America, but it's destroying the evil way that it operates. He ain't trying to do none of that. That's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to preserve this shit. So some more say, as you just heard. But before we move on, I don't want you guys to forget this.
the divine plan. America didn't happen by chance. All this was part of the divine plan that this would come about. The Moors then had a plan for a new world order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally. The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which we civilized and taught the Europeans. And so now when we hear them saying it, we ready to thought the baby with the bathwater, thinking it's from them. No, we originally laid out that plan for one divine world order. And they merely inherited it. And when we fell off, they still espoused it.
What are we to make of that?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
What are we to make of that? Is there any more in the chat who can answer to what Hakeem Bey just said? Not trying to take the subject somewhere else, but I need a more in the chat, if there's one in here, who can answer to this statement.
For New World Order. A one world, New World Order. That was a Moorish plan originally. The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which we civilized and taught the Europeans.
Is there a more who can answer just that?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Do we have one more to step up to the challenge? Because that's when I hear people calling Masons evil, excuse me, Masons evil, and then saying there are more. And I'm like, how? Because this goes into the conversation we had before, guys, when I told you this stuff is old to me. Like all this stuff is old. I've heard it before. So like a person like Root doesn't understand, Joe, that's not the answer to the question. You are more, bet, shame, you obey. That's not the answer to what I just asked you. I asked you, why did this more just say what he said? Okay? I'm defending Masons. I'm defending, excuse me, Moors, not Masons, Root. He asked, why are you defending Masons? Because they're Moors. And they developed Moorish science. And they developed Freemasonry. That's how I was taught as a Moor. That we were the ones who developed Freemasonry as a way to keep the light and the secrets when we were going into our 25,000-year cycle of sleep, without blah, 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 blah. That's what I was told. So you can answer the question and stop trying to dodge. We all know what a dodge is here. This is Shame TV, and the people in the chat are regulars. So they all know what a dodge is. Thank you, Suicide. We know what a dodge is. A dodge is talking about all the whole, it's ad hominem attacks. Dark man, you a Jamaican and with a church and all that bull. No, I'm not letting you on anywhere. You can answer, you're already on. This is live YouTube TV. Any comment that you speak, I will read it out. I'm going to play the audio one more time so that you hear it, so that we're not confused about what we're talking about. Okay, here we go.
Plan that this would come about. The Moors then had a plan for a New World Order. A one world, New World Order. That was a Moorish plan originally.
Okay.
The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge.
Now, all over YouTube, we could type in New World Order. And when you type in New World Order, all you're going to see is Masons and one world government and one currency and the Pope and the currency and then the Pope again. And then you're going to see David Icke. And then you're going to hear about reptilians. Then you're going to hear about a one world government and one system and a chip in a one government again system and all this shit. And you're going to hear about Lord Mateo, or maybe you won't if you haven't done your study enough to go deep enough to know who Lord Mateo is and things of that nature, and who's supposed to be the new leader of the new one world government and all of that shit like that. When you type all that shit in, that's what's going to come in. Vaccines, all Illuminati, is all that stems from the one world government, all that shit like that. Hakeem Bey just accepted all blame for that shit on the behalf of the Moors.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge,
Not only did he say, did he accept responsibility for it, and no more in the chat has an answer to the question. The answer that the one more, who, excuse me, not one more, the one Soto or more who claims to be a more, his comment is, BCFC, are you a European woman? Show your face. That's his answer to what Hakeem Bey just said. Now, if you go on his page, you'll hear him telling you how evil the Masons are, how the Masons are the ones who's causing all the trouble. Like, if it wasn't for Masons, the world would be kumbaya, hunky-dory, all of that shit. The only reason that there's that people have problems in their marriages, health, anything, it all comes from Masons, if you listen to him. That's where it all comes from. I just be telling him from the time I met him, from the time I've been listening to him, from the time I heard him talk, I was like, yo, you sound eager with the information, but I'm just trying to tell you, stop being stuck in a rigid sort of, stop being stuck in a rigid system when you calling yourself this shit, because you're only answering questions based off the system. You're not answering questions based off of just answering the shit, letting nature take its course. That's what happens when you join religions and shit to a degree. Some people function with around that, but some people are rigid with the shit. And I tell you, it stymies your thinking. If you're gonna call Moors evil, nigga, in my opinion, you're calling Masons evil, because every Mason I've ever fucking, Moor I've ever talked to that was about their salt, talking about history, said that black people are natural Masons. That Masonry was taken from your own natural just way of life. That the Eastern Stars, all of that shit, it was all the same thing. This is what Moors are saying, not Soto or Moors. Okay, and no, you didn't answer it. I read the comments, and the comments were about BCFC being a white woman. And ain't nobody asked her, was she a European woman? Because she could still be from Europe and be a sister, stupid. What a dipshit.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
No, I'm not having you on. And stop begging to get on people's panels, because that shit is telling of you, and it's not a good look. Like, don't you got fucking kids or sisters and brothers, parents or somebody? Like, would you want them seeing you like this, begging people to get on it? Put me on the panel, put me on the panel. Nigga, if you got something to say pertaining to what we're saying, say it, and I'm gonna say it. Just stop saying a whole bunch of fuck shit, and then I go back into what I'm doing and I don't see your comment. No, it's not easy to explain how you call the same people that that you are evil, and then you say they're not. Nigga, you say you are more. Hakeem Bey said we founded Masonry. So how could you even be mad at the Masons and blaming them? Shouldn't we be blaming ourselves? That's a question. Should we not be blaming ourselves? And are Moors not Masons if they're the founding of fathers of Masons? I don't get it. How could what do they say that they right now credit is given to motherfucking Slick Rick and them niggas for really creating hip hop, so to speak? How could they say they not rappers if they're in the class of founding members of hip hop, which is a style of music called rap music? How could they then say they are not rappers? It doesn't make sense. How the fuck can the New World Order, which is all the evil shit that you attach to the Masons, originate with Moors? And this Moor is telling you that. He's telling you what I'm telling you, nigga. He's telling you the same shit I've been telling you. No, we can't handle you on the chat because you're OCD. And you'll just start going off, and because you're probably drunk now. A thank you, Dark Man. Moore is a Freemason. The fuck? A Moor is a Freemason. Fuck that. We all are Masons according to the Moors because we're the fathers of Masonry. And stop, and I hate when Moors do that, man, or people who call themselves, stop infusing the natives of this hemisphere with Indians and stop infusing that with yourselves. Because you openly admit that you are a seafaring people who were sailing all over and you came to places. So if you came to places, you more than likely came to this place too. Now, albeit some of your distant cousins and grandmothers may have been a part of tribes who migrated over here or etc., but that has nothing relatively to do with you personally. Yo, that's stupid, and stop saying that too, man. I was going to ask you a while ago, stop saying, look at my avatar, G. Like, that's, I can't even see it. So.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Derrick Jones Talks Live. This is our standard 30-second break.
It was a divine plan. America didn't happen by chance. All this was part of the divine plan that this would come about. The Moors then had a plan for a new world order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally. The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which we civilized and taught the Europeans.
Derrick Jones Talks Live, and we are back. We're about to close the show out in a second, but what we're going to do is take a look at to see what exactly the New World Order is.
An historic moment. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
You want us to stand down. You want us to back off. You got the nerve to call us conspiracy theorists just because we're informed. I'm trying to mobilize the leaders to take action against the New World Order and to resist them.
Watch this DVD and listen to the eyewitness testimony about explosions going off before the first plane even hit.
We're one of 300 families that came up here to get away from the collapse of the American civilization.
You guys heard of the Philadelphia experiment? It's kind of interesting.
Chase Bilderberg, heads of state from Europe, officials of our government, holding a secret meeting.
We've got a camera right here. So we've got this area covered and this area covered. So we got it. Do this area covered.
Some would call it an obsession. I don't have much of an interest in anything else, really.
I have this inner urge. I just have to expose the New World Order to people.
Inside job! 9/11 was an inside job! 9/11 was an inside job!
Your New World Order's going down! We're not your slaves! Your New World Order crime syndicate has been identified! We know who you are, scum!
I live in a very stressful world, and it's showing on me. It's showing on my health.
I am afraid of being targeted because of these things.
We have the jury box, we have the ballot box, we have the cartridge box. We still have our gun.
Right now, you see the media not doing their job, not covering how our soldiers are being wounded, how Iraqis are being killed. We have to break that barrier. We're speaking truth to power. When we're looking them right in their eyes and confronting them on their lies.
Stop your fear, cowboy. John McCain, we know the truth.
We need a new investigation, sir.
It's almost like the entire New World Order apparatus has been scripted as if it was written like a screenplay.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Ladies and gentlemen, the New World Order, as you know it, according to the Moors, is an origination, has its origination, excuse me. It's a birth child. It's an all-around plan from them, from the Moors. Any brother or sister who was a Moor and you would like to refute anything that you heard, please leave a comment in my comment section, and I will, of course, read it and give it the due respect that it deserves. Just to come at you quickly and let you know that when you leave a comment, if you leave a comment sincerely, I'll read it sincerely and genuinely, and I'll answer it as such. And if we continue to converse about it, I'll even probably try to have you on and you can talk about it on the show if you like, if you sound knowledgeable about it. You know what I'm saying? But only more serious Moors, you know, and Moors brothers and sisters, only the serious ones. Leave a comment. No ad hominem attacks. I'm going to look at that as childish and beneath any Moor, because any actual Moor would not be reverting to ad hominem attacks and things of that nature. So I would, peace, Dark Man, everybody, Grandma 3000, everybody who came through, BCFC, Triple CT, what up, Boogie, Leonard, Shadow Assassin. It was great having y'all. Like I said, leave a comment if you want a serious inquiry into my position that the Moors created Masonry, which we will be going forward with this week. We might have to do it on Shane TV too, because I was playing Black Panther on Derek Jones Talks Live while we were doing the stream. I was letting you guys watch Black Panther. And I might have got in trouble, so I might be shut down for a couple weeks, but who cares? In that time, Shane TV, the mothership, the flagship page, will be returning. Yes, that's the heavy hitter. Okay, will be returning. And like I said, any Moors, true Moors, that's all. No, Root, Hakeem H.Y. Bey, Taj Tariq Bey is a Mason. Every Moor is a Mason because we are the founders of Masonry. We handed those people what they call Masonry. What they took from it and made different names, Rosicrucian and all that shit, whatever, who cares? But the point of it all is, you heard directly this Moorish brother state.
It was a divine plan. America didn't happen by chance. All this was part of the divine plan that this would come about. The Moors then had a plan for a new world order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally. The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which we civilized and taught the Europeans. The Moors then had a plan for a new world order. A one world, new world order. That was a Moorish plan originally. The Europeans inherited that plan through the Masonic Lodge, which was the vehicle by which we civilized and taught the Europeans. And so now when we hear them saying it, we ready to throw out the baby with the bathwater, think that it's from them. No, we originally laid out that plan.
So any more who has an answer to that, you know, I'd like to get your take on it. You know what I'm saying? And again, no ad hominem attacks and things of that nature. Like for example, if somebody left a comment, "You a fake monkey," you know what I mean? That's not an answer to what Hakeem H.Y. Bey said. That's not any answer. Okay, you're a dirty Moor, Root. Root, you're a dirty Moor. Root's a dirty Moor, and I mean that actually. And metaphorically. And if you go to the root of the word meta, you'll see the word M. And anything that has an M means mu, and that means more. Shane TV too.
Shame.
Peace to the brother Abdullah L. Please to the brother Hakeem Bey for their knowledge and their wisdom and their years of fucking just studying, man, to try to come to some sort of answer to what's going on with our history. But at the same time, I'm using this audio as critique because a lot of people are running around saying that Masonry is evil. And one of the number one, and I don't say that it's not. I don't be saying that it is or it's not. I just say that to say that Masons are evil that's fucking stupid as shit to me, because people are evil. What are you talking about? Like, oh, you become a Mason, now you evil. Well, there's tons of niggas out here doing a whole bunch of evil shit and they ain't no fucking Mason. So I don't understand the logic in that. And also, we don't want to get to the point where we getting off subject, meaning forgetting what we're talking about. What we're talking about is, are Moors Mason and are Masons Moors? Well, according to the Masons and according to the Moors, Masons are Moors and Moors are Mason. Now, whoever has a problem with that, you have a problem with Brother Hakeem Bey. So take it up with him. We were just critiquing his study. Peace.